Ethan, I'm worried you're exhausted. How about Lucas attends the wedding in your place in a few days? My girlfriend Sophia looked at me with eyes full of concern. Baby, you still worry about me. I pinched her pretty cheek and said to her with utter adoration, I also have something to discuss with you. Just thinking about how painful childbirth is makes me not want you to suffer. So I've decided to have your friend Chloe deliver the baby for you. Saying that, I handed her the pregnancy report. This is the report from the prenatal checkup I took her to yesterday. The doctor said the baby is developing well. What? Sophia's smile froze as she took the pregnancy report. It's real. Her eyes were bloodshot and full of tears as she shouted at me. The fetus is already over 2 months old. When did you start seeing her? Around. At that moment, my phone rang. It was her friend Chloe. After hanging up, I grabbed my coat and headed out. Chloe wants something sour to eat. I'll go check. Then I walked out the door without looking back. Ethan, you bastard, you come back. Sophia screamed hysterically, then coughed up a mouthful of blood that splattered onto the pregnancy report on the floor. I'm the one who transmigrated into this book. It's an incredibly melodramatic novel titled, To Fulfill a Promise with His First Love, the girlfriend has him attend the wedding in the groom's place. The plot is that tired old trope. The first love, Lucas, dumped Sophia for a rich older woman. Sophia fell apart, then slowly recovered under my care and comfort. The Taylor family business at home also flourished. Sophia gradually began to like me, so we got together. Later, Lucas got bored of the rich woman. He gained nothing but venereal disease, was toyed with for 3 years, and was sent back to the country. On the day he returned, Sophia left me standing in a downpour to pick him up at the airport, saying she'd be right back for me. But that night, she held a welcome banquet for Lucas and completely forgot about me. I got soaked all night and had a fever and cold for days. On another day, there was a torrential storm, thunder and lightning terrifyingly loud. We were being intimate when Lucas called, saying he was scared and wanted Sophia to come keep him company. So Sophia abandoned me and drove over in the rain. Actually, I'm a naturally timid one. I was even more afraid, curled up in a corner of the bed alone, eyes open until dawn. What made me give up on leaving was that Sophia and Lucas had made a promise since childhood. Once they reached adulthood, whether together or not, they would hold a wedding. When her wedding was over and she returned home, I was gone. Then came the heart-wrenching, desperate chase for the husband. Famed writer Shakespeare put it well. Belated affection is cheaper than damned grass. The result was that I died emotionally and never married. Sophia went mad with remorse and lost her mind. Lucas, meanwhile, wasn't affected at all. The ending is tragic, but since I've arrived, I'll make the ending complete. To be honest, I found that transmigrating here wasn't actually bad. My family owns the Johnson Group, wealthy and powerful, and my girlfriend Sophia is of similar standing and very beautiful. Whatever happens later, using this for now is pretty nice. Aside from being infatuated and weak and having a bad ending, the original host had top-tier conditions. But I can fix that infatuation. I'll enjoy the original's fortune. As for lovesick suffering, whoever wants it can have it. I won't take any. When I first arrived, Sophia and I were in a sweet period, comfortably cohabiting for over a year. Then Lucas returned. Today, Sophia had plans to go out for hot pot with her girlfriends. The driver was driving me, Sophia, and her best friend Chloe. As soon as we stepped out, rain came down like buckets being poured. Sophia's phone rang. You could visibly see her body tense. She quickly fished the phone from her bag and answered almost instantly, deliberately lowering her voice but unable to hide her eagerness. Hello. I don't know what was said on the other end, but I saw her eyes light up in an instant, her face showing a girlish, delighted excitement. Her mouth couldn't help but curve up. Her voice seemed 8 times sweeter. Really? You've arrived? I know, with this rain it must be hard to get a cab. Don't move. Wait right where you are. I'll come pick you up. After hanging up, she turned to me with a guilty face, eyes darting, not daring to meet mine. Ethan, there's a sudden emergency at the company. Mr. Carter has an urgent impromptu meeting over there. I have to go handle it first. Look, the rain is pouring. The car can't hold that many people. How about you get out first? I'll finish my business and come back to pick you up. Okay. Puffed. I was drinking mineral water and couldn't help it. I sprayed it all over her face. Good grief, seriously. What a blatant lie. How did the original owner believe this for over a year? What she said on the phone has nothing to do with going to a meeting, and the car can't fit them. Is this stretch limo made of paper? It could easily fit 3 more people. Sophia. Before I could speak, Chloe sitting next to her could no longer take it. She frowned, her tone showing clear disapproval. It's pouring like the sky is leaking. How is Ethan supposed to get out? What if he catches a cold? Besides, what company's secret is so sensitive that he can't come along? Sophia quickly pinched Chloe's long, sexy leg and made a conspiratorial face. The movement was exaggerated as if afraid I wouldn't see. She lowered her voice. Company secrets. Business stuff Ethan doesn't understand. Also, we have to pick up an important client on the way. There really isn't room. I snorted inwardly, but didn't call her out. Fine, no problem. You two go have fun. Handle your things. When we pass that street up ahead, turn right, then go straight 800 meters and drop me off. I laughed inside, wondering who was playing who. The car stopped and Sophia glanced out the window. Starlight Plaza KTV. Ethan, what are you doing here? Taking shelter from the rain? Not talking, drive slowly. I shut the car door and strode into the KTV. Ms. Taylor, are we heading to the office next? The driver's question snapped Sophia out of her daze, staring at the KTV entrance. To the airport, she said absent-mindedly. The vehicle started, and she kept frowning as she stared toward the KTV. When did Ethan start coming to places like this? I never allowed him before. Even if he went, I had to be with him because the people inside are all, hey. Her friend Chloe patted her shoulder. What are you staring at? Are you even here? And nothing. Book a decent hotel first. Once we pick up Lucas, we'll head straight over to welcome him. Okay, the French-style restaurant we usually go to. All right. Bursting into the KTV, deafening dynamic music and dazzling lights wrapped around me, dispelling the chill from outside. The original owner, tightly controlled by Sophia and too timid even to know which way the KTV door opened, left a memory that made this place feel somewhat unfamiliar to me. But that didn't stop me from enjoying this rare freedom and indulgence. Good evening, how many of you? Besides Chloe, a few mutual friends were there. Lucas was clearly the evening's main character. He pulled out all the stops, nostalgic anecdotes, longing gazes, vaguely flirtatious hints in his words, a well-oiled combo, striking with effortless flow. Do you remember when we were kids? Under that old oak back home, you said you'd marry me and we'd have a wedding. These years abroad have been fine, but I've been so lonely. What I miss most is your pan-seared steak and the way I feel when I'm with you. Unfortunately, Sophia's spirit really seemed left behind at the KTV. Her head kept filling with uncontrollable images of me amid the KTV's embraces, surrounded by beauties, lost in decadence. The more she thought about it, the more restless she became. She stabbed absent-mindedly at a translucent shrimp dumpling with her chopsticks, nearly turning it into paste. What on earth was Ethan doing now? Why would he be at a place like that? Was he angry? The speculations made her anxious. Sophia. Lucas called her a third time, watching her hollowly swirl her wine glass. This was nothing like he'd expected. He thought Sophia would throw herself in his arms, fuss over him, be passionately enthusiastic. The Sophia who used to give and take from him at what was right here, but now she seemed distracted. Oh, sorry, Lucas. Sophia snapped back to herself, forcing a somewhat stiff smile. She put down the already mangled shrimp dumpling. There's really something urgent at home. It's pretty serious. I have to go back. You guys enjoy yourselves, eat, and drink well. Put tonight's bill on me, and we'll get together properly another day. At that moment, she just wanted to fly to the KTV and find out what was going on. With that, she grabbed her bag as if chased by something and started to leave. Lucas hurriedly grabbed her wrist, his grip strong and his voice wounded. Sophia, what's so urgent? Is it more important than seeing us after so many years? After being abroad all these years, you're the person I wanted to see most every day. The welcome dinner's only halfway through and the guest of honor is leaving. Can't you stay a little longer? This was his usual tactic, which had almost always worked on Sophia. Unexpectedly, this time she forcefully wrenched her hand free. Her brows showed unmistakable irritation and urgency, and her tone snapped. Lucas, I really have an emergency. Ethan, he's still outside, standing in the rain waiting for me. I have to go pick him up. Before she finished speaking, she was already running out of the private room like a gust of wind, even forgetting her coat. Ethan, Lucas stared in the direction she disappeared, grinding his teeth so hard they could have been shattered, his gaze dark enough to drip. Again, it was Ethan, merely a stand-in as far as he was concerned. A stumbling block he'd never paid attention to, but it seemed he might not be so simple after all. Unlocked it, opened Facebook, found Chloe's post from last night, and displayed in front of her. It was the rowdy 9-photo collage of the table from last night's welcome party for Lucas. Lucas sat at the head, grinning like the cat that got the cream. Sophia sat beside him, a bit distracted, but looking harmonious enough in the photos. You told me you were dealing with urgent company matters last night. Was that the welcome party for this important client who just returned to the country? I said calmly. Seems this client is heavy-hitting enough to make you leave your fiancée out in a storm all night. My gaze was calm and steady, but it pinned her with unprecedented pressure. Sophia went pale in an instant. Her lips trembled as she stammered a frantic, disjointed explanation. Ethan, listen to me. It's not what you think. Lucas, he just came back and didn't know his way around. And with that downpour, he couldn't get a cab. I planned to drop him off and then go straight to find you. But his friends started egging him into a welcome party, and I couldn't slip away. I actually went to the KTV to find you later. I did. You just weren't there. Her excuses sounded flimsy, even to her own ears. I waved her off, too tired to hear her half-hearted justifications, grabbed my things, and went to Johnson Group. In the days that followed, Sophia did act a bit more obediently. Coming home on time, speaking and moving with careful, almost ingratiating gestures as if trying to atone for that night. She even started cooking for me every day, although she had never cooked before and the results were barely edible. But the plot wouldn't spare her. Under Lucas's constant phone advances, whether he was in a bad mood and needed company, had troubles and needed help, or just wanted lively friend gatherings, her guilt quickly evaporated. She began returning home late again with excuses about work needs or consoling a friend. And me? I wasn't idle either. When she went out to friends' gatherings, I went out to business dinners. We each lived our own lives, hardly interfering, and it was fine. Meanwhile, my contact with Chloe, initially through her repeatedly bailing Sophia out, had gradually grown closer without either of us noticing. That night, the wind howled and rattled the windows. Thunder and lightning followed, and a downpour like a shower of soybeans lashed the earth. Sure enough, Lucas's personal phone ringtone sounded. We, who had just exercised, were almost asleep. Sophia glanced at me, then answered the call. Sophia, there's thunder. I'm so scared. I'm home alone. It's so empty. You know I'm most afraid of this kind of weather. Could you come keep me company? Sophia gripped the phone, a flicker of struggle on her face. She hesitated and looked at me as if asking my opinion. I watched her expressionlessly. I wouldn't say yes to let her go, but if she decided to go, I wouldn't stop her. Ethan, Lucas said he's scared being home alone, so whether you go or not is your own decision. You don't need to ask me. Sophia, as if not expecting that response, froze. Ethan, then I'll just go take a look. I'll be back soon. Wait for me. She finished saying that, hurriedly put on her clothes, grabbed an umbrella, and without hesitation dashed into the rain and thunder outside. Watching her figure disappear, the smile on my face vanished instantly. I immediately grabbed my phone, flipped to Chloe's contact, and called. The call was answered quickly. I cleared my throat. Hey Chloe, it's thundering outside. I'm home alone. Could you come keep me company? Silence on the other end for 2 seconds, Then Chloe's voice came through brisk and even a little eager, with a hint of excitement. "Okay, wait for me, I'm on my way. No unnecessary questions, no false politeness. Done." I snapped my fingers, a triumphant smile lifting the corner of my mouth. Chloe arrived even faster than I expected. Her hair and shoulders were a bit damp, clearly having rushed over in the rain. She brought in a gust of moist air the moment she stepped inside. Just then, a massive thunderclap seemed to split the roof, a loud crack that vibrated the window glass, the lights flickering. I seized the moment, feigning fright with a shudder and a low exclamation, then dove in her damp, faintly fragrant arms, clutching that slim but strong waist tightly and burying my head against her chest. My voice muffled, still shaking. "So scary. I'm terrified of this thunder." While saying it, I swayed, feeling the softness at her chest. Yeah, the touch was nice too, her waist slim but substantial, springy. Chloe's body tensed noticeably, as if she hadn't expected me to be so forward, then quickly relaxed. One hand circled my back gently, the other rhythmically patted me, like soothing a frightened animal. Her voice couldn't hide a smile and warmth. Don't be scared, I'm here now." Holding her, I half pulled, half led her toward the bedroom. "The thunder outside is too loud and scary. Let's go inside to talk. It's more soundproof and warmer in there." We went into the bedroom and sat on the soft bed. At first we chatted casually about the weather, about being afraid of thunder because of childhood trauma. We talked about life goals, plans for the future, complained about some people's poor judgment. As we talked, we drew closer, breaths audible. The ambiguous atmosphere thickened. The thunder and rain outside became the perfect, passionate background music, as if encouraging us. The mattress sank slightly, clothes rustled and slid off, accompanied by suppressed gasps and low moans. In short, it was an intense, harmonious, and satisfying night that fully embodied deep communication. The next morning I woke up clear-headed, but she was gone. Only the sheets bore faint suggestive creases and a long strand of hair on the pillow that wasn't mine, carrying a light, lingering fragrance. It was almost noon when Sophia finally came back, wearing 2 heavy dark circles under her eyes and looking exhausted. She saw me sitting on the living room sofa, leisurely flipping through a magazine. Her eyes flickered as she began to explain, her voice tired and hoarse. "Ethan, the rain was just too bad last night. It was impossible to drive back, and Lucas was so scared he didn't sleep all night. A few of us friends were worried, so we stayed in that living room with him all night." She watched my face carefully. I smiled slightly, scrolling through Chloe's message on my phone, playful and concerned, and nonchalantly hummed, not even raising an eyelid. To Sophia, it felt like her fiancé simply didn't care. She froze, like a punch that had been gathered only to land on cotton. The explanation she'd rehearsed stuck in her throat and made her miserable. She edged forward tentatively, voice tinged with disbelief and a faint anger. "So you're reacting like this just because I spent the night at another man's place?" This was nothing like the confrontation, the sobbing and pleading she had expected. This indifference unnerved her more than any accusation. I finally looked up from the phone and asked, my expression calm and placid, "And what reaction should I have? Cry, make a scene? Hang myself? Lock you in the house? And forbid you from going out? You should at least be angry, question me, be jealous. That's how you show you care," she snapped, raising her voice, hurt and furious at being undervalued. "You know this behavior was inappropriate and easily misunderstood, yet you still went." I shrugged, speaking lightly with a worldly detachment. "I'm just your boyfriend, not the one in charge of everything." Then I put my phone away, straightened my clothes, and told Chloe I'd take her out to dinner. I had to get there early. I couldn't keep a girl waiting. I left Sophia standing there, her expression shifting from stunned to angry to a flash of panic, and finally a total mess. Only then did she belatedly and clearly realize that my indifference frightened and disempowered her far more than any heated fight or interrogation could. In the days that followed, Sophia really seemed a bit unsettled. She tried to make up for it, sometimes awkwardly and deliberately. She carved out more time for me, booking hotels together, trying on wedding dresses, picking out home goods, showing an unusually intense focus on wedding preparations. She'd message every so often asking what I wanted for dinner, and she started cooking herself. Her skills improved dramatically. I played along perfectly, acting gentle and attentive, flawless. It was just putting on a show. I knew the score. According to the plot, this marriage wasn't going to happen. Lucas still hadn't used that ultimate childhood trump card. I was just waiting to watch. Besides, she was the one spending money. Meanwhile, she kept being called away by Lucas's various emergencies, which gave Chloe and me plenty of time alone to grow closer. Our relationship skyrocketed. We discovered we aligned on values, hobbies, and even our jokes about Sophia and Lucas. Then one time Chloe and I were at a refined little Italian private kitchen restaurant. We just ordered and hadn't touched our food when Chloe suddenly went pale, covered her mouth, and gagged once. Then jumped up, mumbled sorry, and bolted for the restroom. Watching her hurry out, even a bit unsteady, made my heart skip, and a strange, intense thrill and anticipation surged up inside me. Could this be it? Sure enough, with my insistence and accompaniment, the hospital test results came back quickly. I looked at the ultrasound sheet, at those two tiny, still barely formed little lives, and felt a strange, indescribable sensation. Since they're here, it's fate, and there are two of them. Seeing Chloe beside me a loss, I gripped her hand tightly. That evening, when we got home, Sophia had prepared the meal and had been waiting a long time. She rushed over when she saw me, looking distressed, looping her arm through mine and deliberately pressing her body close. "Ethan, you've been running around for the wedding and you've gotten so thin. I feel so bad for you. Why don't you let the wedding company handle some of the small stuff? Don't overwork yourself." Alarm bells went off in my head. Is it finally time? Fine. I'll confront her tonight. On the outside, I stayed calm, even patting the back of her hand and speaking gently. "It's okay." She paused, studied my expression closely, then said cautiously, "I have an idea." "What idea? What could you possibly have to hide from me? You know, in a few days, the wedding will just be a formality, mainly for the elders. The ceremony is long and exhausting, and I'm afraid you'll be worn out. How about letting Lucas stand in for you? He's about the same build and the same suit size. If he puts on the tux and a mask and sunglasses, from a distance, no one will be able to tell. That way I won't have to watch you work so hard. I'd feel so terrible." She said it with a sincere face. Her eyes even looked a little red from worry. If it were anything else, I might have been moved, but did she take me for an idiot? She doesn't want me to attend my own wedding because she feels sorry for me. The bridal chamber is even more exhausting. Should he take my place there too? I thought to myself, but I didn't take it to heart. She's just a girlfriend anyway. I never planned to marry her. A smile that was even more affectionate and exaggerated than hers spread across my face, and I lightly pinched her cheek in a familiar way. "Baby, see? It's you who worries about me. Always thinking of me. Only you could come up with such a thoughtful idea." Seeing me beam so brightly and with no hint of displeasure, she visibly relaxed and smiled even sweeter. "Baby, you worry about me, but I worry about you more. When I think about how painful childbirth is and how hard it is carrying a baby for 10 months, my heart feels like it's being cut with a knife. I couldn't bear for you to suffer even a little. So I've decided to let your best friend Chloe help you give birth." She said this while pulling the fresh pregnancy report from her pocket and slowly handing it to her. At those words, Sophia excitedly stood on tiptoe and kissed me. I knew my Ethan was the best. "What? Let Chloe help me give birth." The smile on her face froze in an instant. She couldn't believe what she'd heard. She took the report sheet slowly, lowered her head bit by bit, and her gaze fell on it. Her pupils contracted wildly. Pregnancy about 13 weeks, boy and girl twins, fetal development good. She seemed to not even recognize the words, whispering each one extremely slowly. The hand holding the report began to tremble uncontrollably. She squeezed the paper so hard it warped. After a few seconds of silence, she snapped her head up, Her eyes filled with bloodshot veins and tears burst forth like beads cut from a string. This is real. The fetuses are already over 2 months? When did this start? Huh? When did Chloe, that bitch, seduce you right under my nose? She suddenly crumpled the report into a ball and slammed it to the floor. I scratched my head casually. Let me think. It was probably that day when it thundered. You went to Lucas's place, right? I was scared too, so I had her come keep me company. Just then my phone rang at the perfect moment. The ringtone I'd set specially for Chloe. I answered immediately, switching to a gentle tone, my gaze softening. Hello? Chloe, what's up? Okay, you want something sour? Sure. Hang on, I'll buy it for you right away. What sour thing do you want? Sour plums? Hawthorn? Or lemon? All right, I'll get a bit of everything. You pick what you want to eat. I'll be there soon. After hanging up, I grabbed the coat from the sofa and slipped it on smoothly, heading for the door, completely ignoring the woman behind me, who trembled all over with extreme rage and despair. Sorry, Sophia. Chloe's morning sickness is pretty bad. She suddenly wants something sour, so I have to go deliver it. Pregnant women come first. Can't let her go hungry, you understand, right? Sophia screamed hysterically, her voice raw. She grabbed a throw pillow and hurled it at me with all her might. I didn't even look back. All I could think about was buying sour snacks. Ethan, how could you do this to me? You won't talk it through with me. I will never forgive you. Sophia collapsed to the floor, spitting a mouthful of old blood onto the prenatal report. What followed was natural. I went back to pack the essentials and moved in with Chloe. In the days after, I stayed with Chloe, treating her with extreme care and devotion, like a model husband and father. I never missed a single prenatal appointment, could recite pregnancy precautions by heart, found all kinds of ways to supplement her nutrition, and soothe the mood swings caused by hormones. How could Sophia let it go? She first bombarded me with calls. After I blocked her, she used every channel she could to gather information, pulling every contact she had, and soon tracked down the love nest Chloe and I shared in a high-end apartment in Notting City. One morning the doorbell rang incessantly, like a death knell. I hurried to open the door. Chloe had been irritable these days and couldn't stand the noise. Standing at the door was Sophia, haggard and dazed. Her eyes landed immediately on Chloe behind me. Wearing loose, comfortable cotton loungewear, her belly already showing a slight bump, a natural, healthy blush on her face. Chloe's gaze was calm. She knew this confrontation was inevitable. In an instant, Sophia's eyes reddened with pure rage and envy. Her face contorted as if she wanted to tear Chloe apart alive. Chloe, I treated you so well. I considered you my best friend and told you all my secrets. And you went behind my back to seduce my boyfriend. You shameless bitch, you're just a whore. She completely lost her rationality, like a shrew, screaming madly as she lunged forward and swung at Chloe's face. My expression turned cold, and I reacted fast, grabbing her raised wrist firmly and pushing her back with some force. She was wearing high heels and already unstable, mentally and physically drained from recent events. My push made her stagger and fall to the floor, but hit the cold floor tiles with a heavy thud, and my bag was flung far away. Its contents spilled everywhere, a complete mess. She looked up at me with a look full of shock and disbelief, as if I had committed some unforgivable crime, her voice trembling with a sob and a sharp accusation. Ethan, you pushed me for her? You wouldn't even say a harsh word to me before. I stood firmly in front of Chloe. She's pregnant with my child. Of course I'm going to protect her and the baby from any harm. What about me? What am I to you? I'm supposed to be your fiancée. We were about to get married. The invitations have already been sent. She sat on the floor and screamed without any dignity, her tears washing away her makeup, acting like a child throwing a tantrum because she didn't get candy. I raised an eyebrow, my tone edged with undisguised mockery and detachment. You're just my ex-girlfriend. Have you forgotten? Ever since you left me soaked in the storm to go to the airport to pick up Lucas without a second thought, I didn't want you anymore. As for the wedding, seeing her face drain of color, I added, Wasn't it you who wanted Lucas to attend? No, that's not it. Ethan, listen to me, I love you. Nothing happened between Lucas and me. We're innocent. My heart has always belonged to you. She struggled to get up and lunged to grab my hand, but I stepped aside. She missed and nearly fell again, having to brace herself against the wall to stay upright, her voice piercing. Whether or not you two did anything, whether it was innocent or otherwise, is none of my concern now. I put my arm around Chloe's waist. I'll help you upstairs. You need to stay calm and happy during the pregnancy. Then I turned to Sophia. Ms. Taylor, please go home. Don't come here again. If you keep harassing me, I won't hesitate to pursue legal action. I didn't look at her again. After that, Sophia seemed consumed by some terrifying obsession. As if possessed, she began endless harassment, phone bombing, blocking the entrance to my company, staking out our building, employing every tactic she could think of. Her mental state visibly deteriorated, but I was resolute, firm in rejecting her without any ambiguity. The company instructed security not to let her in, and the residential committee was warned. Each time she showed up only made me more grateful to have escaped that torment and more protective of Chloe, who needed peace to nurture the baby. One day after work, as I was leaving the company parking lot, Lucas blocked my way, his face dark and full of anger and defiance. Ethan, we need to talk. He barred my path with an accusing tone. No time. I didn't bother with him and try to pass. Sophia has completely cut me off. No answering calls, blocked on Facebook. When I went to see her, she hit and cursed me, saying I ruined her happiness. This has to be your doing. Why would you smack? I slapped him so hard he spun on the spot. The force made my hand go numb. He wiped blood from his mouth, staring at me in shock. How dare you? How could I not? I said, then kicked him in the groin. He howled, fell forward on the ground, and tried to get up, but the tearing pain in his lower body made him give up after a few attempts. You go to her, and she hits you, as if when I go to her she wouldn't hit me. I'll say it again, I don't care about the two of you. She's single now, and you still have a chance to pursue her. After saying that, I gave him a cold glance, as if looking at a pile of trash, then got into the car. Of course, I wasn't so kind as to help them out, because in the original book, after the original owner left, Sophia and Lucas fell out and ended up hurting each other. Let them deal with it themselves. I'm busy running back and forth between the office and home every day, happily swamped, with no time to mind their mess. Later on, I only heard bits and pieces about Sophia from mutual friends. Apparently, Lucas still couldn't let go, thinking Sophia was just angry and would come back when she cooled off, so he wouldn't bother her again. The two of them put on a crazy chase on a highway, and in the end, the two cars collided. Lucas died on the spot. Sophia's legs were trapped in the crushed cabin and badly fractured. Although she survived, after multiple surgeries, she would spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair. The once glorious Taylor family's eldest, Miss, ended up in such a tragic state, paying a painful price for her own willfulness and blindness. A few months later, Chloe and I held our wedding on a sunny day. We didn't choose an overly luxurious venue, but a woodland estate full of artistic atmosphere, arranged warm and romantic. Chloe wore a custom-made white lace wedding dress that perfectly showcased her round pregnant belly, which was already beautifully prominent. Her face glowed with maternal softness and an inner happiness that shone outward. In the sunlight, she was indescribably beautiful, like an angel fallen to earth. Yet just as the master of ceremonies was about to pronounce the ceremony complete, a person incongruous with the festive atmosphere appeared at the very back of the crowd. Sophia sat in a wheelchair, pushed by a middle-aged woman in a caregiver's uniform. She wore a somber black dress, her face pale and haggard, her eye sockets sunken. She stared fixedly at us on the dais, tightly embracing each other, overflowing with happiness. Her hands on her knees clutched tightly at the veil we had chosen to wear at the wedding, her knuckles white. The MC was clever. He only hesitated slightly, then acted as if he hadn't seen that jarring presence, smiling even more brightly and raising his voice, loud and full of joy. Now, I pronounce the ceremony complete. Groom, you may kiss your beautiful bride. To the strains of the wedding march and the guests' warm, sustained applause, I kissed Chloe tenderly. When the kiss ended, I looked at Chloe. She was tilting her head up to me, overflowing with love and happiness. She gently touched her round belly, which held the fruit of our love. I smiled too, holding her hand tightly. Late affection is cheap, but the happiness seized by timely awakening and decisive damage control is priceless. As for the woman in the wheelchair, sorry, you tore up your own script long ago. My script never had a role for you. Your part is finished here. The future stage belongs to the four of us.